Hi and welcome to On Maths. The resits for the Maths GCSE are just around the corner. So today we're going to be looking at the 5 mistakes that will cost you your grade 4 and how to avoid them. Let's dive right into things. Number 1. Not showing you're working. When examiners mark your papers, they don't just care about the final answer. They want to see how you got there. You could lose all the marks if you just write the answer down, even if it's right sometimes, especially in multi-step problems where each step can score you marks even if you make a mistake later. But how do you fix this? Good question, real life me. Make it a habit to write down every single step. Even if you're doing mental maths, put it on paper. That way, if you slip up on the final calculation, you might still get most of the marks for the correct working. Number 2, misreading the question. It's so easy to read a question quickly and miss crucial details. For example, it might ask you to find the area, but you accidentally calculate the perimeter. Or maybe it says give your answer to 2 decimal places and you just don't round it at all. But how do you fix this? Take your time when reading the question. Highlight or underline key parts, like what it's asking for, units, or specific instructions like rounding. Double check what the question is asking before you start. Number 3. Forgetting basic formulae. You've been taught these formulas all year, but on exam day, stress kicks in and suddenly you can't remember the formula for the area of a circle. But how do I fix it? Start memorizing formulas now. Use flashcards or make a formula sheet to practice regularly. I know students who put a big poster on their bedroom wall of all the formulae they need, not just for maths but for all their exams. And during the exam, if you're worried about forgetting, write them down as soon as you can start writing in the exam paper. It's really important to also remember that there is a formula sheet, so check that the formula isn't written there before you move on to the next question. Number 4. Careless calculation errors. Sometimes you know exactly what to do in a question, but you accidentally add wrong or mess up a simple calculation. These little mistakes can cost you easy marks. They add up, and before you know it, you've missed that grade 4. I will put my hand up now, like every good mathematician should, and say I also make these mistakes, not on an annual basis, but sadly on a daily basis. But how do you fix this? Always double check your calculations, especially with mental maths. And if you have time at the end of the exam, go back and recheck your answers. It's easy to miss things when you're stressed, but a quick check might catch those mistakes. Do not be the person who's sitting there with your arms folded, with your exam paper shut, with time to go and calculations that really do need a check-in. And finally, number 5, poor time management. It's easy to get stuck on a tricky question and spend way too long on it, leaving yourself with no time for the rest of the paper. Or you might rush through the easier questions too quickly and make mistakes. But how do I fix this? Plan your time before the exam starts. A good rule of thumb is to spend 1 minute per mark. So if a question's worth 5 marks, you shouldn't spend more than 5 minutes on it. If you're stuck, move on and come back to it later. Some students put a star next to the questions that they want to come back to when they've got time at the end of the exam. You don't want to lose marks on questions you can easily answer just because you ran out of time. And my final piece of advice is to stay calm. You can do this. I've seen students who were miles off in the summer exams and have gone into the November exams and got there a grade 4. Make sure that you stay calm now and in the exam. Go in with purpose. Go in believing you can do it. If you've prepared yourself well and gone through all of those exam paper questions, you should be in a position to walk in there with confidence and get that grade 4 that you deserve. And that's it for today's video. Make sure that you like and subscribe. And if you've got anything that you have to say about anything I've said in today's video, make sure to write it in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one.